Hello, Beez Bladers! Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Guess what? We are checking out count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brand new CRKT knives. One of them is a little more affordable than the other, and most of these are Richard Rogers designs, and wait till you see them. CRKT, compared to when I was growing up, they've leaped and bounded. They've gone in leaps and bounds over tall buildings. Maybe not tall buildings, but they have gone crazy. Now, I'm not going to do an unboxing per se because they have good packaging. I already got the knives out, checked them out. I'm blown away. We're going to get into them. We're going to start that right now. Now, growing up in the old days, it was always CRKT at the stores like Kmart and things like that, and they would be in the bubble wrap thing, you know, the thingy on the hook and all that good stuff. Well, they've changed. You can still get them at the stores, but the lines of the more premium knives that they've come out with premium materials, and you actually know what the steel is very impressive indeed. And this first one is no exception. Oh my goodness. This is the CRKT Q. Would you look at it? I mean, just look at it and all of its cuteness and carbon fiberness. Now, this bad boy has titanium for the handles, carbon fiber inlays, and the inlays are done very nicely. Back here, you do have a pin for a lanyard hole. It has a directional? I said it again. It has a one-directional pocket clip. It stands out enough, and you know what? I didn't think this was going to be good in and out of the pocket, but with my jeans, it is actually very smooth. And check this out. New thing I've been seeing going around is the floating back spacer, which is very nice, very, very nice. Has a nice, clean look. It does have some jimping right here. I'll tell you ahead of time that I wish this jimping went all the way around. That would have made this that much better, but we'll see if it's a drawback here in just a second. You ready to see this blade? Pow! Right in the kisser. Look at this. I mean, look at that. Would you have ever, maybe 10, 15 years ago, ever dreamed you would see a knife of this caliber that looks this good and with the materials I'm getting ready to describe to you, because I don't want to spend too much time gawking because we have 6 knives to go through. So I'm going to speed it up without talking too fast. But the materials that you get, you know what this blade is made out of? Does anyone have a freaking guess? This is Magna Cut, baby. Oh yeah. And look at this. It has a very nice fuller, which you can use to reverse flick and to do the slow roll. There you go. Richard Rogers design. And this is one of my favorite things in all of knifedom, is when you get a frame lock, but it's nested, so your finger isn't giving it the lock of death, and it also has a steel lock bar insert, which is very nice. It has a good lockup, and then look at this. It's centered. All of that is really good. Now check this out. Just giving it the push button, it comes flying out with authority. And then, oh my gosh, look at this. So smooth. Disengagement is very smooth. There's not really a cutout, but there's enough room. There's ample room to get your thumb in there, and you don't have to press hard. You don't have to dig your finger. You don't get the marks on your thumb from having to dig it unlocked. It's very comfortable, just like most of the hidden frame locks or the more bolstered frame locks like this, but the action on it is very nice. Now look at this. There's your push button, comes snapping out. You can also do a traditional light switch with it, which works very nice. The slow roll is very good. And then look at this. The reverse flick on this thing is, I mean, it's phenomenal. They did a very good job on this. Oh yeah, that fuller is the stuff. Now let me give you a quick couple of numbers here just so you know what you're working with. From tip to tip, it's 7.94 inches. Closed, it's 4.6 inches. You have a 3.31 inch blade, and guess what? Guess how much this weighs? 3.2 ounces. That's it. It only weighs 3 ounces. So for this much knife to have a 3.3 inch blade, and I'll tell you right now, I'll say this and get this out of the way for all you folks that are newer to the channel. My hand's 4 inches from here to here, 3.5 from here to here, and from the bottom of my palm to the tip of my middle finger is 6.25. And yes, it is comfortable. It has great ergonomics. Like I said, I've had these out. I've already checked them out. It's comfortable. There's no hot spots. This is a fantastic knife for the knife connoisseurs that want more premium product. More premium, what's the word I'm looking for? More premium materials. And this is, I'm going to say it again, this is not your grandpa's CRKT. It has good action, good ergos. It has really good ergos. And I'll find words, don't worry. Good ergos, action, lockup, fit, finish, materials. I have no qualms with it, nothing to say. There's a look at your sharpening room for your area for sharpening. Your plunge grind ends about right there. So, I mean, plunge grinds are always a matter of preference on where they at, where they at? No, of where they're at and how deep they are. But I'll get this one back out here in just a second. This is the new CRKT Q. And you know what? I think that, I don't know who they've been talking to, but CRKT has done their homework and they have made improvements in what they're doing. And they're looking ahead and seeing what's going to happen. And I'm so proud of them. Now, based off the knife that you just saw, check this one out. This is the CRKT Q Compact. Would you look at it? Just look at it and look at that. Oh my goodness. It has very nice G10. It has that perfect texture that you expect when you get some G10 with that diamond pattern. It's very, very nice. And I'll put it up next to this one. This is the Q. Actually, let's do it right now before I forget. There's the Q and there's the Q Compact. The Compact, this is, I'm telling you what, this is a perfect everyday carry folding pocket knife if I've ever seen one. It is extremely lightweight. It weighs 2 ounces. And look at this. Oh yeah, check it out. It's like a perfect EDC knife. And the fact it's weightless. It weighs 2 ounces. Now this one's a liner lock, and all of these knives I'm showing you have IKBS ball bearings. And let's take a look here. It doesn't say the steel, but the steel on this bad boy is S35VN. Yeah, not the mystery steel, S35VN, which is one of my all-time favorites just because I like the properties and how it operates. You still have the pin back here. You still have a floating backspacer. That's G10 to match the G10 on the sides of this. This one, did I already say that it's a liner lock? But this one you can also reverse flick. It's very snappy. It has good action, good ergos. Everything that you saw in the other one, this has the same properties. And let me put them next to each other just so you can see what they look like next to each other. Now, I'm going to move them here just for a second. You'll look at them like this. And now I'll switch it because there's a slight angle to the camera. And let me grab my QSP. Here's one right here. For reference, here's the QSP Penguin, because everybody needs a penguin, right? Now look at that. How's that for a nice smaller pocket knife? And if you like a more full-size pocket knife, then you could go with the Q. These are fantastic. I mean, they're really good. I'm impressed. Now this one, when this one shuts, I can feel the bearings. You know how sometimes you can feel the bearings? It's not a bad thing. I could just tell they're there. And that's only because that I've, reviewed hundreds of knives that I'm able to tell. But look at this action. It's just so good. This is going to be a carry for me. And you know what? This is one of my favorite styles. It's more simple. It's more direct. It's, it's like not fancy. It doesn't have all the super fancy stuff, but I really do like an elongated drop point like this. I love this style. I love the way it looks. Okay, before I keep going on about these, let me get out the next one. Oh, and you know what? I don't even think I gave you the numbers, and a lot of people want their numbers. So this bad boy from tip to tip is 7 inches. Closed, it's 4 inches. You have a 3-inch blade, and I already told you that it weighs 2 ounces. Are you ready for this one? Listen, are you having a good time? Are you having fun? Do you enjoy the content? I know a lot of the watchers, listeners, they'll listen while they're driving down the road on the way home from work. And listen, by the way, I do giveaways, hidden giveaways during my videos, and a lot of people miss them because they just watch, they look at the knife, and then they skip and they miss out on that. By the way, every Friday night, Beez Blades live at the Hive. Oh, right. Yes, every Friday night from around 8:15 to midnight, we do a live stream where we talk about knives, everyday carry gear, flashlights, and all of the fun stuff. And we do giveaways there too. That's not the reason for it. But if you haven't, come and hang out. And anything that you see, any knives that you see on the channel, we talk about them. People ask questions. Sometimes we take them apart. We always do a pizza check. Mrs. Beez comes down. The dog Bogey's always a part of it. We have so much fun. There's no judgment. Doesn't matter if you just discovered knives and you're questioning, what's S35VN? What's Damasteel? What's all these different blades? And what are these names? And what's going on? This is the place. That's where you hang out. It's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Okay. Anyway, this is the PUP slip joint. Check this out. And don't worry. There's another one coming up that's not a slip joint if you're not a slip joint fan. But look at this. Look how clean. It's clean, crispy. It goes in and out of the pocket very nicely. And you see the edge of that blade? Are you smelling what I'm stepping in? Are you getting a look at that Damasteel? Look at that. Oh yeah. Check that out. Now look at this. This is so easy. It has very good jimping. Put your finger up here and pow, right in the kisser. Look at that. That is beautiful. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know that I've ever seen a blade with that pattern. It is, I'm like trying to find something in my head of what I can compare it to what it looks like. I've never seen one that looks exactly like this. Damasteel, this bad boy from tip to tip is 5 inches. Closed, it's 3.1 inches. It has a 2-inch blade, and guess how much this, I almost want to say, guess how much it doesn't weigh? It weighs 1.1 ounce. This is a good little pocket. I went to go like this for a liner. It is a slip joint, so this would be a great pocket dropper. And I did see, I went on the CRKT website, they have a leather sheath for you folks that like to keep your knives all pretty and looking nice. You can put this in a sheath in your pocket or just pocket drop it. Or do like me, I always have a couple dropped, but I like to have them clipped to my pocket. But what you see is what you get. It has great ergos for such a small little, you know, it's just a perfect little knife. It'd be great for peeling apples, just the everyday carry stuff. A little bit of tactical Oreo bag opener, you know what I'm saying? But this acid etching is just very, very cool. But I have no complaints, anything about this knife. It's solid. It has, I was going to say not lockup, but the fit is good. Left and right, there's no play. It's easy to operate, easy flipper. I really do like this one. This is the PUP slip joint. Now check this out. This one comes in like the traditional, everyone knows the green box, you know what I'm saying? Now look at this. This is the PUP also, but this is the PUP slip joint. Check that out. I mean, would you look at it? It was inspired by the CEO knife. And yeah, it does look like a CEO, but it's a little bit different. You know when I'm stepping it, I always want to say that. I'm like, do you feel it? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? The words coming out of my mouth. And this has GRN inlays that have a very nice texture to them. They're all bumpily. They kind of remind me the side of what is it? What do you call that? Golf ball. Reminds me of a golf ball. Super clean, super simple. The pocket clips works very nice on it, and they did a good job on the jipping. The jipping, for my preferences, could have been deeper. If they would have made it deeper, Johnny, deeper, then it would have been a little more grabby. But I mean, look at that. Just a nice little everyday carry pocket knife. You could actually take that clip off and just pocket drop it. But this is a liner lock. So if you don't want a slip joint, you want one that actually locks. Now, similar to the CEO, there's no cutout right here for pass-through, so you do kind of have to get your thumb in there sideways. If you have fat thumbs and you try to do it like this, you might have to push down a little bit to make sure your skin grabs it, but it's not difficult. But this isn't going to be a hard use knife. This is going to be everyday carry. And let me put it next to the other one here and show you. You know, they're very similar. You have the best of both worlds. If you're a slip joint fan and you want a little bit of Damasteel, or if you want this bad boy. Now this one here has AUS 10 blade steel. It's 5.1 inches overall. It's 3.1 inches closed, 2.1 inch blade, and weighs 1.2 ounces. So this one weighs like 0.1 ounces more than this one. But these, you can literally put this in your shirt pocket. You're not going to feel it. It's no heavier than an ink pen, and you'd have a knife on you. Like in your shirt pocket, this is all you're going to see. Looks like kind of like 2 eyeballs, and then like, what's that guy on Jack Sparrow with, you know, he has all the squigglies. Okay, I'm digressing. Let's get the next one. Now, this one is something very cool. I really like, this is Richard Rogers' design also. I like what he did with this one. Now, if you remember the Persian, right? It was very, the other Persian style, it was a very upswept blade. More so than I think a lot of people cared for. Oh, wow. Wait till you see this one. Now, this one, a little bit of harpoon action, is very nice. This is the Persian. I mean, would you look at it? Just look at it. You have titanium with some nice diamond milling and then a little bit of carbon fibre in the middle. It looks like fat carbon. Looks like we have a couple layers of carbon fiber going on. Now, this one does have a dedicated lanyard pin, which is very nice, very, very nice. And again, with this floating backspacer business, I think is very cool. The pocket clip works well. It's one side only. It's right side. All of these are right side tip up carry. Now, this one, it has jimping. Again, I wish they would go deeper with the jimping. That way you get more grab. I don't like getting the slide off. So that is always a peeve of mine when I get a knife that doesn't have quite enough grab. Now with this one, it's not an issue because of the angle. It's easy. I'm not saying it. I just, you know, I'm the jimping king. So are you ready to see this blade? Pow! Right in the kisser. Look at that. Oh yeah, now that's an improvement right there. Look at the poon on that bad boy. Oh my goodness. This one also has the IKBS ball bearings. It's a frame lock, and it does have a steel lock bar insert inside there. It's hard to see it on the camera, but it's in there. It doesn't have a cutout. As you can see, like the other ones, doesn't have a cutout, but there is ample room, and it's, oh, so smooth. I mean, you can tell you're working with premium materials. Very, very smooth. I love the way it feels. Now your quick numbers, because you know I don't want to forget those bad boys. From tip to tip, it's 8.2 inches. Closed, it's 4.7 inches. You have a 3.5 inch blade, and it weighs 3.6 inches. 3.5 inch bladed knife. This is a large knife, a regular, I call them regular, but it's a large size knife, and it only weighs 3.6, and the ergos are good on it. And look at this. Look how your thumb just goes whoop right there. The ergos are great. There's no hot spots. I have no complaints. The fit, the finish, everything about this one are magnifique. And oh, speaking of magnifique, guess what this blade steel is? MagnaCut, baby. Oh yeah, you hurt me. I wish they would put it somewhere down on the blade, you know, down there so you could see, just for verification. I mean, I know it is, but I kind of wish they would put it just, you know, they're good at putting the model number on there. It'd be neat if maybe just right down here on the Ricasso, if they would put the blade. But, you know, what you see is what you get. This one also is very smooth. The operation is so good on it. It has kind of that hydraulic feel when you close it. Oh, it's almost like it's compressed air holding it in. I really do like this one. I like the looks of it. I'm not real big. I mean, I often don't carry super upswept blades where my point is a lot higher than the pivot. And did I say this is IKBS? Yeah, I've probably said that 3 or 4 times. But you know what? This is, wow. It's very nice. If you're a knife connoisseur or a knife collector, you like to collect everyday carry, folding pocket knives, and you've gotten to the point, get to the point, bees. If you've got to the point where you're collecting them because you like the way they feel, you like the way they look, and you like to carry 1 or 2 or 3 different knives every day, or if you're like me and you wear Duluth and you wear several, hey, this one, I don't think you're not gonna go wrong with this one. Now, as far as sharpening, if you're gonna be sharpening a rod, if you're gonna sharpen a rod, you can see that the plunge grind ends right there at the heel, so you can take that or leave it for what it's worth. But this is the new Richard Rogers Persian. Oh, love it. Don't have anything bad to say about it. Let's get the next one. Now, last but certainly not least, another one in the famous green box that we all know. Now, this one is pretty cool. This is one that I think it's a pocket dropper. I think this is one that you would get. This would be a great gift knife for pretty much anyone. It doesn't weigh anything. It weighs 0.8 ounces, and it's called the Katana X. And it locks back here. You push down, and you push out the blade. Look at that. I mean, would you look at it? This is a very, you know, kind of reminds me of a scalpel. It's actually what it looks like. It even has a little fuller in it. But when it gets to the end here, it does lock. And you just push it right here. You can see where it pushes out, and then you're able to slide it back down. But this is very simple. What you see is what you get. It's 4.9 inches long. It's closed, it's 3 inches. It has a 2-inch blade and weighs less than an ounce. This is one of those ones that you can gift people, you know, they like knives, but they don't have a use for them. You get them something like this and they start carrying it and they're like, now I get it. Now I see why you carry a knife all the time, is because once you have a knife and it kind of, you can feel it click across the Grivery. This is Grivery handles, and it has D2 black washed blade. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it. It goes brrr, brrr, brrr. But very cool little pocket dropper. I like it. This is the Katana X. So there you go. There's 6 brand new knives from CRKT. Tell me which one of these is your favorite, because you never know in the comments when I'm going to give one away, and it could be this one, could be this one. You just never know. But don't forget to hang out on Friday nights and go watch this video. You'll really enjoy that. And until I see you again in the lives or the chats or at the Hive streams, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.